It's time to duel! Hello everybody, I am Omega Recon Gaming, and today we will be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! The show. I've already talked about the game on several occasions, but I've talked about some of my opinions on the show. So now I'm going to be talking about the anime, of course. So, let's start. And it's many spin, which was really weird to me, actually, when I found that out that they were all actually just spin-offs. Anyway, so let's get started on the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I watched this show as a kid, and I like it more than I dislike. Going back now, a lot of it I don't like, but there are parts that I do like. But I don't like Taya. I don't like Tristan. I don't like Mai that much. Joey can be okay. I like Bakura in his arc. I like Yugi. Serenity's okay. And the villains are okay. Nothing that really stand out about the villains. You know what? It's still okay. I'll say that it's okay. And still love that theme song. The first theme song and the Battle City theme song. But I love the Battle City one way more. Oh, I love that so much. It's so good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to, GX. So, I liked a lot, actually. Going back to it more recently, I've watched it several times. It's good. It's really good. The dub is good, sometimes. The sub is good, because that's the only way to finish the show, because they never finished dubbing GX. Oh, 4Kids. Anyway, overall, but I like the characters. Like, I like Cyrus, and I like Jaden sometimes. I liked him a lot later in the show. He gets a lot more serious when the weight of everything kind of, catches up to him. And honestly, they take, this goofy-loving guy, and they kind of do something really, I thought, Jaden was gonna be too goofy, and he kind of, mellows out after, what he does. Though 4Kids does something stupid and it really aggravates me. They don't show death. Well, as they kind of cut some deaths and stuff out. Like, oh, Jaden, you send your friends to the stars. But in the subversion, it's you killed them. What has more meaning? The main character sending his friends to the stars, or killing them? Explicitly saying, you killed them. Or, oh, you send them to the stars. It's basically like the Shadow Realm. You can be saved from it. It's so 4Kids just, kids can't hear death. But why? It's so stupid. Do you know how many kids lose a parent? Eventually, they're going to lose their parents. You need to teach them how to deal with that kind of stuff. Yes, it's hard. I get that. But don't dance around death like it has no meaning, or you can just cut around it. You can't do that. Jaden feels guilty about killing them in the subversion. But he feels guilty sending them to the stars, but he brings them back. There's a difference between Jaden bringing them back from the grave and bringing them back from the stars. One has a lot more meaning because of, oh my god, I brought you back from the dead, more than bringing you back from an alternate dimension. One means a lot more. And I'm so glad that 4Kids doesn't dub this shit anymore. They didn't finish dubbing GX, I'm kind of glad. Okay, so basically, overall, I liked a lot of the characters. Some of them dumber than others, but overall, I like GX. Now, would I call it my favorite of the Yu-Gi-Oh series? No, but it's not bad. Which, originally, I was like, this is kind of dumb. And I didn't like how they tried to, talk modern, or try. I hate it when shows try to do that. It does, I prefer shows to be timeless rather than dated. Because while the dated can sometimes be funny. Anyways, moving on to 5Ds. car games on motorcycles. It's so stupid. No, it's not. It's actually amazing, and it's my favorite. I love 5Ds, and it's amazing, and if you don't like it, you're just wrong. Here's why. Everything's awesome. The characters are awesome. The story is awesome. The bad guys, they're good. I like them. I like the tone. It's a darker Yu-Gi-Oh! Gone dark. Also, the dub is amazing. The sub is good, but dub is amazing. I love Yusei's English voice. It's so good. Jack's English voice is great too. Totally like comes off. He's like the Kaiba of that, version. Funny is because he used dragons. Well, if they all use dragons, that's what 5D stand for, but to be fair, you know what? I really like the premise being centered around dragons, because dragons are cool. I also don't hate the idea of them being on motorcycles. I like a lot of 80s movies. How over the top they can be. So when I'm seeing, them going on motorcycles, I'm like, okay, where are you gonna go with this? And you know what? They take a pretty interesting, approach. Like, sometimes they have, like, people trying to hit each other off the road, and, like, and they have the speed counter system. That's kind of neat, an interesting idea. They have to have another speed spell to use, and they have certain effects, which I kind of think are plot armory-ish. In order, like, I have certain speed cows, I can do certain amount of damage to you. It adds another dimension of what you need to remember and focus on. It's like, oh man, this turn he's gonna have 12 speed counters. That means he can do this and this. Yusei's got to finish him off now, or he's gonna be finished next turn. It adds more. What I love about Yu-Gi-Oh is the strategy behind it. It's a strategy card game, and I love that. I love watching, not just playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I love watching it. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me participate in a tournament that my friends held, and that was a lot of fun. You should definitely check that out. I also have, the Yu-Gi-Oh series, and I've also played Trab Out on the show, and I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I've played so many games, I have so many cards, got the freaking toys, and I got so many memories with it. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. It's 5Ds, especially when I was getting older, I was kind of, I kind of fell out of Yu-Gi-Oh a bit when I entered GX, and then I got back, I didn't even watch 5Ds. I think I watched like I think that was I was in school at that time, and I kind of just like watched like when it was on. But then when coming back when I'm much older, well, not even then. Like, I came back to it a few years ago, and then I came back to it again much more recently, and I really enjoyed it. I loved a lot of the things about it. Sure, there's times where they're standing with dual disc and dueling, but there's also times where they're on their dual runners and they're dueling, and it's pretty intense. And they got the holograms next to them, and they attack each other, and like hitting your opponent makes them, when they lose light points, they lose speed counter. So you gotta it's another dimension to the game. You always got to keep thinking 3 steps ahead. And that's really interesting. I also like the darker tone. The differences between the Satellite and New Domino City. Which, it's cool. And, this time it really felt like, you were with Yusei. Like, you were, you feel his struggle. You feel... And, honestly, Yusei didn't let a lot of things bother him, but when something did, oh yeah, like, when something gets under his skin, you don't want to fuck with this dude. I loved Akiza, I loved frickin' Jack, Yusei, let's see, who else? Carly, oh, she was great, frickin' Crow, I loved him and his little orphanage and stuff. you know, I love the fact that dueling's kind of illegal. No, it's illegal, and you know, it's so like, you know, so interesting, you know. And I love how the new Domino City depends on the satellite. The recycled stuff from the satellite, you know, helps New Domino City. So they depend on the satellite. So without the satellite, New Domino City's fucked. I like that. That's interesting. Honestly, you need to go watch the show. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, you know, if you can just put aside the fact that it's card games on motorcycles, I think you really enjoy it. Dubbed or sub, but I definitely prefer the dub because the dub is pretty good. Except for two exceptions. I hate Leo and I hate Luna. They force these kids into the show and I hate them and they're dumb. Luna's a little better because I really like her like imaginary world kind of stuff, like her stuff with Ancient Fairy Dragon and stuff, and with, you know, she can talk to the dual monster spirits. I found that when it focused on that and she was helping out the dual monster spirit world, that was interesting. But I hated Leo. Hated him. Hated him so much. He's so annoying and his deck is stupid. I hate the Morphtronics. Okay, but besides that, the show is amazing. Moving on. Zexal. Now I'm going to be honest, I was completely out of Yu-Gi-Oh! By this time. I only played the card game on the side, but I just stopped watching the show. So I watched Zexal later on. And you know what? It's good. Sometimes it meters on bad and kind of cringy and annoying, but for the most part, it's good. I like Shark a lot. Shark, what's his name? His real name is Reginald Castle. He sounds really English. I like it. I also really like his dub voice. I also like Kite. I love his backstory a lot, and I like the fact that, you know, sure, he may be the antagonist, I guess you could say. But you know what? The reason he's doing it, you feel for him. He's kind of like Shadow. He's morally gray, but by the end, you know, he's a good guy. I also love it when he, you know, him and Shark, they both, you know, get on Yuma's shit when he's a total fucking garbage. See, Yuma is garbage. He's a total failure. The show portrays this, and we're supposed to kind of get behind him. But I'm like, why? I don't, you know. Now, to be on the other side, to being perfect, which I'll talk about later, is not good either. When you have a character that never loses, that's annoying. Yuma lost several times, and it's shown without Aster, he's completely fucking useless, which I don't like. Sure, Yugi from the original Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, wasn't as good as Yam Yugi, but at least he could still kind of hold his own in a duel. But frickin' Yuma's like the worst, and then when Aster comes along, he's suddenly the frickin' best duelist. It's dumb, and it's stupid. And it's contrived, and I don't like it. Also, I don't like his voice that much. Also, I don't like the intro that much. The animation's good. Pretty much everything about, you know, every Yu-Gi-Oh show, I like the animation. So that's not really a point that, you know, I have to really bring up. You know, Zexal got an upgrade in animation. It looks great. I do like the dual gazers, though. But I really think the dual gazer set is stupid. I also hate how much he whines. It really just, you know, gets on your nerves. When the show tries to be, like, serious, it succeeds. But when it tries to be goofy, it's just dumb, and I don't like it. Goofy can be done well. Like in GX. I laughed in GX. I liked... Matt actually really likes GX. Like, he doesn't like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And other shows. He respects what they do, but he really likes GX. He likes the goofier tone throughout the show, for the most part. Which I agree with him. You need the right amount of goofy. You need to know when to cut it off, or else the show cannot be taken seriously. So yeah, that's and Zexal, to be honest, I only watched half of Zexal. I watched one season. So Zexal 2 I did not watch because I kind of just fell out of it. I was just like, bored. I just got bored with it. I didn't like Yuma that much, and I kind of just, you know. I also hate Tori. Tori sucks. And the other guy's name I can't remember. Basically, Zexal's okay. It's in the good to okay range. Alright, so now we talk about Arc 5. Now, let me preface this before I start. A lot of you know how I feel about Arc 5. So, let me get to start why I hate it in the game sense. In the actual real-life card game, Synchro Summons and Exceed Summons, I did not like at the start. But when I tried them, I liked them. Pendulum Summons, I hated them, and I don't like them, and they suck, and they break the game. You can just summon monsters over and over and over, and it's cheap as shit, and it makes the game go too fast. I liked the slow, calculated game. It's just dumb. Half the card's a monster, half the card's a spell. Like, that could be an interesting idea, but it's just dumb. Okay, now let's go and talk about the show. I hate it. I hate the dub especially, but I hate the show in general. I've watched the show in dub and sub, so it doesn't matter the show I hate. I hate the sub a little less, but I still hate it. I hate the main character. I hate the sides. I hate the guardian of the main character. Can't think of any of their names. I hate the main character's monster. His signature monsters. Odd Eyes is dumb. It looks dumb, it's not even a dragon! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is known for their fucking dragon. Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Stardust, Red Dragon Archfiend. I'd even take fucking Power Tool Dragon. Fucking Zexal's Utopic Dragon. That's freaking awesome dragon. I love Utopic Dragon. I don't use it, but I have a friend who uses it in the deck, and it's really cool. And it's a really good card. I hate the premise of the show. I hate the first few episodes. That's why I quit it. I only got through 5 episodes. And if you're gonna be like, well, you didn't finish the show, so how can you see this? No. The show has to keep me interested from the beginning to the end. If it cannot successfully do that, why should I keep watching the show? I'm not going to be like, well, it gets better. I've heard it gets better later. Well, if it doesn't get good, why should I have to sit through episodes that I don't like to wait for episodes I don't even know if I'm going to like? That's stupid. That's dumb, especially because people have different opinions, and I'm very divisive on several things that people like or dislike. So how do I know I'm gonna like it or not? So I basically could just waste my time watching things that I hate, cringing and just getting through things, and I don't even know if I'm gonna, and I could end up hating it, you know? I know that's a pessimistic look on it, but that's the probably more realistic look. If I don't like the beginning, why am I gonna like it later? I still hate the English voice. I hate the action cards. Getting to that right now, actually. Fuck action cards. They are the cheapest, stupidest. They take all the challenge out of the game. Oh, I got this. I just ran around the stage and picked out this action cards. I can negate your attack. Instead of, you know, having a card in my deck that negates an attack. You know, like every other iteration of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so stupid. I hate action cards. They took all the challenge out of the game. I also hate how the main character cheats in the first episode. He comes up with this pendulum stuff out of nowhere. Okay? It's like, and people just let him do it. It's like, well, even the Arnold Schwarzenegger wannabe's like, what's he doing? And I'm like, he's cheating! Someone call a ref! And he's in a stadium full of people! Why is nobody DQing him? It's so stupid. And then even later, he doesn't even remember how to do it. I'm like, how the fuck do you not even remember how you cheated? And there's video when people are asking how he did it. He just literally explained how he did it in the thing. So it's so stupid and I hate it. I also hate how everyone is rude to the main character. Like, everyone. Every single person's rude to the main character. At least in GX, you know, there are people who like Jaden, but no. And in Zexal, there are people who do like him. But in this show, everyone's fucking just an asshole to him. To be fair, he's kind of a clown, and he's annoying and dumb, and I would not like him either. They even try to make you feel bad for the guy because he lost his parents. You mean, like every other main character. Well, we don't know what happened to Jaden's parents. But do you see what I mean? I don't like it. Bottom line, I hate it. I hate Arc 5. I hate what it did to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I hate what it did for the show. I hate the plot. I hate the dubbing. I hate the characters. I hate action cards. It all can just go fuck itself, honestly. Got that on my system? Good. Let's go on to VRains. Riding the wind. This show is good. It's pretty good. Pretty good, but I kind of fell out of it. I'm not good at singing, but I love the intro to the show. Riding in the Wind is good. The second intro's not as good. So I like VRains. I like the premise. I like the characters. I like the tone it went for. I like, you know, him going and them dueling on the hoverboard. I like the fact that that hackers are portrayed in a good light in this show. Like, how many shows can you do it? Most of the times, hackers are portrayed as bad people. And for the most part, they are. But there are good hackers in this world. There are people that companies hire to try to hack and get around their firewall so they can build better firewalls and hence make the site better and blah, blah, blah. Make, you know, it more secure and stuff. There are good hackers in this world. There are more bad hackers than good, but, you know, I do appreciate, and I do really like the character's backstory in this show. And how much of a mystery he is. And I like how analytically and how pessimistic he is, but not too much. The only problem I have with the main character, though it is kind of a double-edged sword, I don't like how much he wins. I would like once or twice if he would just lose. That's what I was saying earlier when I said I would come back to it, but it is a double-edged sword. I do like how much he outthinks his opponents, so in that aspect is why I kept watching the show, is because sure, he was constantly winning, but he was outsmarting his opponent. And in that aspect, I like that. So like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Now, that's why I did kind of fell out with the shows, because I was kind of just sick of him winning. I would just like him to lose one of those times. Maybe the show's still going, so maybe he does lose. I don't know, I kind of fell out of the show. Maybe I'll return to it when the dub comes out, when it comes out eventually. So, I like the linking mechanic. I also like it because it just, like, it ruined pendulum decks a lot, and that's great, and because pendulums can go fuck themselves. Blink range is really good. You know, Yuzaku's a great guy, and I like him, and he's very relatable. Now, his little assistant thing, I don't know, I kind of felt he was kind of tacked on. But I kind of like the jokes they had with him, so I'm gonna let it slide. But at times it could wear a little thin. And I feel like the extras were not as good. Some of the extras are good, but like the friend extra guy, I can't think of his name. I didn't like him as much. I can't think of his name, but the guy who's in the dueling club or whatever. Anyway, I really like the setting, and I really like a lot of things of the show. So I'm gonna go through how I feel about. I'm going to go through each show. I'm going to right now rank how I feel about each show. Okay, 5 Ds at the top. Then you got, I'm going to say, it's very close between GX and VRains, but I'm going to go with GX. VRains, the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, Zexal, no, I'm gonna go with Zexal here. And then I'm gonna go with garbage. I mean Arc 5. I mean garbage. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And oh, almost forgot, I have a bonus clip from my vacation. I'm just gonna put this in here. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the clip. And I'll see you guys next time.
Ready?
18th hole.